Good evening, welcome to the studio this evening, anybody that's watching. I'm going to just probably complete this evening, so I shall get on with it. I'm a bit late starting, been having food, tea, stuff to eat. Seemed like a good idea. So, yeah, that's sort of touching up stuff. Do some work on that hair as well, I think. I also need my glasses, which I think are over here. I shall just get some glasses back in a moment. Okay, got my glasses, so I can see better now. I thought for the minute then I may have left them in the office, but I haven't, which is good, because that wouldn't be the right place to leave them. Right. So, now then. It's not too bad. I'm not quite happy around there. Let's do some of that. Let's wind up the heat a little bit there. Yes, I'm on the right pen. Now, one of the nice things I guess about having a phono connector here is I can just twist that like that, because the wires, I wanted the wire to come out a particular way. So I suppose that is a useful thing, but still not fantastically happy with, well, and I probably never will be, with having a phono connector carrying the current that this does. It's an audio signal connector, not a power connector. Okay, what's that look like on screen? Claire, good evening, welcome. Yeah, indeed. Got back relatively late from work, had some tea, and to be honest, didn't want to rush. And since I'm probably not going to be, well, I almost didn't stream, but I'm probably not going to be streaming for the rest of this week, so I thought I'd come on late and actually do some streaming. And this is close to being finished, I think, so. So it's kind of like an opportunity to finish it, and then when I do come back on, I'll be able to maybe start some carving, perhaps, or yeah, the carving. I did promise I'd do that next, so suppose I should. And earrings. Oh, blimey, you're stepping in, aren't you? I've not made any earrings yet. Mainly because I haven't made any earrings yet. Lady Zara doesn't wear them, so she doesn't have pierced ears. Doesn't want pierced ears either, so might make some clip-on ones one of these days, but so was it a paying customer? Oh, have you been persuaded to give them away? Okay, let's turn that down a little bit more. So let's now do some more shading, because we're now sort of final shade. Gift. Okay. Be careful though. Don't do it too often. Otherwise people expect you to continue to do it, and at some point you're now in business, so you've got to draw the line somewhere. Otherwise you'll be forever giving the things away. Of course, that is of course entirely up to you. Of course, you know, it's very easy when people start saying, "Can you just, can you just make one of these for me for free?" And it's kind of like when people start asking you that sort of thing, it's effectively they're saying your time's worthless. You know, so give me it for nothing, and it's kind of like, yeah, okay. Do you want to work for 2 hours for nothing? and most people don't, so I've had people say that to me. Oh, you know, can you just do a portrait? You know, it'll only take you a couple of hours or something like that. And no, it'll take me 30 hours. Well, you know, you like doing it, can't you? Can't you do it cheap? It's no problem. You know, you're an electrician. Do you want to rewire my house? You know, for free. It'll only take you a couple of hours, and you know, you like doing it. Okay. Okay, that BF. So it can mean two different things. In that case, yeah, that's a reasonable compromise. In this case, BF means the same. Well, it's two. I was thinking of a different meaning, but they're both the same in this particular case. I expect them both to be the same in this particular case, should I say? Here I am making assumptions, you see. I gotta watch that. Here I was about to replicate a line which is on the black and white image I'm using for reference, which is actually a line that I drew with a pencil, and I was about to do it on. Yeah. Good job I looked at the colour photograph next to it. Otherwise, that could have been a little bit of a problem. I'm working with a cool pen here because I'm kind of afraid at this stage. Lacking of confidence, you see. Yeah, by all means. By all means, always interested to see what people have been doing. I'd probably say it's free advertising as well, but then you're probably the only one watching, Claire. Ah dear. Yeah, very nice. Have you wrapped the earwires yourself, or are they pre-wired? Because it kind of looks like they've been crimped, or wrapped after the bead was put on. Oh, of course. Ah dear. I was about to say, that's not you, it's me. By which I mean, yeah, the chainmail rings. They're split. You don't need to wrap the ear wires, because there's a loop at the bottom. You just put the ring through it and close the ring. Oh dear. It's been a long day. It's been a long day. Yeah, as you've just said. Oh, I tell you what, I'll be glad when I either get a new job or don't have a job, but then I can think straight and sensibly again. Dear, yeah, extremely obvious. Same with the crystals on the bottom. I'm assuming you got them as they were, rather than wrapping your own head pin. But champagne and silver, by the looks of it. So what is it? Are they silver-plated ear wires, or have you gone for stainless steel or something else? No, is it? Okay, I can't see it from where I am here. From the picture, it wasn't quite clear as to whether it had a twist up on it. That bit is a mini spring. Okay, all right. It looked like it had sort of come down, created the loop, gone up through the bead, and then been wrapped to create the spring-like thing. You see, there I was going to compliment you on your wire wrapping techniques to be able to do that so nice and smoothly, you see, and you gave it away. Silver plated. Okay. I haven't decided yet whether to do any earrings or not. To go with someone. I suppose I should really, because well, he says, he says, I have no idea. I don't wear earrings, you might notice. As to whether people like to buy them as sets, like a bracelet and earrings, or necklace and earrings, or things like that. So, bracelet and necklace I can understand. Earrings is not something I've got any experience of. As I say, Lady Zara doesn't wear them, so I've never even bought any or particularly looked at them in shops. I know for Lady Zara I'd either have to go for sterling silver or filled gold. Because sterling silver will just, silver plate will just vanish. Okay, you always buy sets if you have a choice. Maybe I'll have to try that then, because you obviously need to sell what the market wants. A lot of what I've got is just bracelets, but that's not bad. Just thinking of the time. Time and materials. 40, yeah, it's not the ring count though, is it? It's the time taken to make them that I know the materials cost, and I'm guessing the crystals on the bottom weren't exactly cheap, but eat more chips. Less than half now. Yeah, about, well, yes, it would be about £5 a pair then, yeah. No, I don't want to bet because but that's the trick, is to get for sourcing materials. Not that anybody ought to be surprised, is get stuff that looks spectacular but doesn't cost a lot of pennies. Yeah, cough. Yeah. It's something I've just started trying to do. It was, you know, with both of these, the special lady and this one, he says, which so it's fine when you're wearing it, but always wants to roll up. But you know, the embellishment of a standard chain, so you know, like that, or with the hearts. So it's just something I've just started playing with. And you know, you've got the crystals on the bottom as well. Do like the way that one just the red sparkle. Ah, okay, thank you. Oh, right, yes, thank you. I ought to look at things like that a little bit more, to be honest. Yeah, so do I. Same place you got your tools from. I shall have to have a look. You know, the thought started crossing my mind just then is we all ought to get more successful. Then you could form a co-op to buy these things by the tens of thousands, and then I wonder where that could be. Yes, so do I. I partly said it that way for you, as you worked out, but also because for the second it went completely out of my head. So how are you doing? Eat more chips as well, and joining. Well, I was going to say joining the conversation. You're probably not interested in earrings, but yeah, Claire and I both into jewellery. Yeah, I'm into jewellery. And I actually don't, you know, it probably, come on, I've joined that. Whilst this probably wouldn't suit me that much, I don't think. You know, that's probably a little bit much, but I kind of don't mind wouldn't mind wearing things like this. It doesn't bother me. I used to deliver bouquets of flowers and things like that, and there was a couple of us. This is when I was at school, and there was a couple of us, and the other lad at the time would almost sort of not really want to. You carry bouquets of flowers two ways. You either carry them stalk up, flowers down, which allows you to carry about 4 or 5 because you just grab them all by the base. or you carry them like a baby. You're a single bouquet, and that's kind of how you would present a single bouquet. And it always used to amuse me. This other lad, he was sort of he'd sort of carry them as though they were sort of, you know, I don't really want to carry this sort of thing. You know, it'd be sort of fingertips and flowers. What's wrong with flowers? He'd pull off those gems easily. I had to readjust my thinking just then. Yeah, well, these days it probably would. Probably would. I suppose for a number of years I used to wear an SOS necklace, so you know, I wore a necklace. I wear a bracelet. So maybe I don't know. Don't suppose it's too bad on me. Well, you know, prototype wise, I quite often will actually just put one on just to have a look. I know my arms are a little bit hairy, but I quite often will actually just slip a bracelet on just to see what it does look like. Obviously they do need to be a little bit bigger for me, but because of course they all tend to look slightly differently when they're actually on a wrist as opposed to just being flat on the desk. Oh, hello. You have a banana? Almost. Almost. It's a little bit cold here this evening, so I've got a jumper on. I've been at our office at the moment at work. Is a little bit cool, shall we say? And I've been there all day, and I was getting. By the end of the day, I was absolutely freezing. To the point where, although it was absolutely freezing outside, when I went outside, it felt warmer. So I've got to keep in the jumper on this evening. But yeah, nice bright yellow colour. Oh look, the special lady. That's the three-row version of the thing I've just shown. That was a piece which was, yeah, just a bit of history here. It was actually made very specially for Ladies Hour, and I liked it so much I thought I'd put it in the shop. Mind you, all the prototypes belong to Ladies Hour, so it's been windy and rainy all day. I've been inside most of the day, so I haven't really noticed, to be honest. Eat more chips. It was a bit breezy this morning when I went out, but apart from that, it's actually been relatively pleasant for me. When I was out, I actually found it relatively pleasant. But there again, I do tend to like sort of a slightly breezy, sort of slightly wind, you know, a slightly rainy sort of out and about type of thing. I prefer it sort of warm breezy rather than freezing cold wintry breezy, but from the storm in America. Okay. I used to follow the weather quite a bit, just for the fun of it more than anything. As a licensed radio amateur, I had an interest in radio. But one of the things I used to do, which has got nothing to do with being a licensed radio amateur as such, is I used to receive weather satellites. So I used to get weather satellite pictures. And so I used to be quite interested in the weather just because it was cool to get a picture from a satellite in space. I don't mind the rain as well. In fact, the one thing I kind of like is being on like the Yorkshire Moors, for example. Won't say on top of a hill, but you know, out in the wilds a little bit with a wind blowing, and you know, it's the wind blowing through your hair. What little of it I've got, but you know, wind blowing through your hair and a little bit of rain doesn't bother me either. in America. I saw was it the Adafruit channel on YouTube where they were showing. I think it was New York they're in with sort of a snow blizzard going through the place at the time. 3 feet in a night, yeah. There again, I mean we've had, well, I don't know, Claire, maybe you're too young, but we've had that sort of thing in the UK before now. Especially when it's windy and you get drifts. You can easily get that, but see, I'm older. I can do when I was a lad. I can do with a when I was a lad. Prodigy, Pod. 1, 2, 3. Excuse me, I can't say that. Prodigy. I keep wanting to say prodigy, but it isn't. So excuse me for mangling your name, but welcome and thank you very much for following. Yeah, 1990. God blimey. Quite some years before that, Claire. Yeah. Luckily they're all mine at the moment. Sort of. They don't come out. That I can say. Now I need this to be a little bit darker around there. That could well be it. Eat more chips. What would I have been? Yeah, probably in my 30s almost, or around there when you were born, Claire. And you're 15. You're hearing things. He has been around tonight. It's obviously been raining outside because he came in soaking wet and laid on me. So I was soaking wet for a while, but you either heard some sort of, or just the music give a little squeak. Very likely, Claire, very likely. That needs to be still a bit darker. Oh well, not quite that, but not quite that old. I think I'm missing some shading around here, which is why it probably looks off. I was just studying the reference picture, and the chin looks off. I think it's perhaps because I'm missing Missing some of the shading. Well, as long as it wasn't over the keyboard, and yeah, you see, I have a different attitude maybe here. So, yeah, me being an old man and all that, it's kind of like if the cat came and had a glass of water, the cat came here and spilt the water. I mean, I've got an electric thing there, I've got a keyboard over there, I've got power sockets. I've been more worried about mopping up the water and stopping it getting all over me and everything else than typing a load of random characters on the keyboard. And once I cleaned it all up, I kind of, what's the point in typing a load of random characters on the keyboard? It's kind of I have a little, I kind of, well, I do understand social media and things, but sometimes I have a little bit of difficulty understanding just quite why people want to share quite as much as they do. On social media, but you're going to ban your cat if they knock anything again. Won't last long. I mean, at this moment in time, you know, well, if you watch the stream for any length of time, you'll know Felix has been knocking things over. Oh, I kind of understand everybody's yeah when it happens, but to then go, where's my keyboard or where's my phone? Meanwhile, there's water pouring over your lap and you're getting soaking wet. Yeah. It's kind of like again, it's sort of, I kind of understand it, but text speak, for example, you know, you get predictive text on phone such that for people to talk in text speaking, text messages actually takes longer than to type the real thing because of predictive text. And I mean, I can well, not on a phone, but you know, if I'm typing in an email message, for example, I quite often will get people at work sending me text-like speech, and yet I can touch type. I can type faster real words than I can type text speech, and get the punctuation right and the capital letters so that it's kind of, I'm getting old. Yeah, no, don't worry about it, emoji. I mean, if nothing else, the only reason I'm mentioning it is otherwise I'd be sat here saying nothing. But it kind of is genuinely one of those sorts of things that sometimes, and I'm teasing you, I guess, a little bit about it, but it is sometimes generally some of the things like that is kind of just why. Sometimes, and it's I kind of yeah, well, you know, life's different these days. I'm an old person. I've got a different view of life. Yeah, I can remember when you didn't have sort of 20 meg broadband. You had sort of 75 bits of dial-up modem and things like that. 150 bits. Yeah, 75 was asymmetric, but yeah, I'm talking nonsense again. Indeed. The only trouble is, that's what seems to be what people like to watch half the time, is people talking nonsense. You fell over. I see. So either that's a foreign language, or you've got a really funny keyboard. In some ways, that's funnier than you know, Claire. One of these days, I'll maybe let you know why, but it is funny. Yeah, eat more chips there. No, I realised you were joking, because they're multi-byte characters. There's no way you hit those on a keyboard. They're you either picked them out of a font list, or you were doing alt numbers. You want to know now? Nah, it's alright, Claire. I could say this is where there's an old joke comes in quite. How do you keep an idiot in suspense? Right. I'm trying to do some of this. Yes. The intent is to finish this. So around about 10 o'clock, this is going to be finished. Yeah, that's right. Took you a while to find them. One of the easiest ways to find rough odd characters is just hold the Alt key down and type 4 digits, starting with a 0. And anything above about 127, you'll get some weird characters or nothing at all. Now I knew. Some people know that one, and some people don't. He's probably got to eat more chips wondering about it. I think it's one that was popular a few years ago, shall we say. You've got a super drag and it's about 10 zips on it. Yeah. I would probably say glass. Yep. So what's the other one? If I give you a red pen, can you write in blue? I'm guessing you've heard that one before, Claire. And then there's all the other ones, isn't it? There's the sort of sleight of hand ones. There's a plane travelling at 150 miles an hour. It's flying over the mountains, and all of a sudden there's an engine failure, and the plane starts to dip and fall down towards the ground. The pilot's struggling to control it, but he can't. And eventually, he's trying to get back to his home country, but eventually he's right over the border, and the plane crashes right on the border between two countries. So, in which country did they bury the survivors? There's a YouTuber that I watch fairly frequently that would, yeah, it's an old one, is that one, Eat More Chips, most people know by now. That would probably be able to tell you the answer to that one straight away, Claire. Given that it's part of his business. I do sometimes quite enjoy those sorts of riddles like that. I mean the Bury the Survivors one is quite a sleight of hand, and usually the way you tell that these days is you just make it a long shaggy dog story. But I do enjoy them sometimes. I do know the answer, or at least I believe I know the answer to that one, Claire, but I'll give Eat More Chips a little chance to... I know it involves big holes. Okay. Yes, that's quite a clever one. Trouble is, when you start coming out with some of these, you get tuned to them, and I guess we're starting to do that now. You sort of get tuned to them. They're okay as one-offs, but as soon as you start doing two or three, you start to sort of tune into the nuances of what's there, and they become more obvious. My guess for Claire's would be a coffin. Bill S.T. Max, by the way, was the YouTuber. He's in Canada, and he looks after a graveyard. Just in case you wondered why a YouTuber might have something to do with it. Yeah, it can be fun doing them. I used to know a lot, but then again, I'm just trying to think of some of the ones there that. How can trouser pocket be empty and still have something in it? How can a trouser pocket be empty and still have something in it? No, you've got me on that one. You've got me on that one, and with that, and that's without getting into metaphysics. A little bit at a time. Eat more chips. A little bit at a time is one answer. Or you can have a big fridge. Or you could put a peanut in the fridge. Okay. Yeah. Well done, Claire. Well done. Yeah, that's clever. Of course, it would have to have 2 holes in it, but yeah. And Emar Chip's mentioning trains there for some reason. I'm busy trying to remember. There used to be one with a train, and for the life of me, I can't remember what it. Oh yeah, you get something along. Yeah, a train leaves London travelling at 125 miles an hour. It's heading north, and it's heading towards Leeds. Bill drives the train south, doing about 100 miles an hour. But he leaves 30 minutes after the train from London. He's heading south and say he's doing 100 miles an hour. And at some point those 2 trains are going to cross. But what's the name of the driver going south? I can't actually remember the story. I mean, I literally just made that one up, and if you were listening, you actually know what it was. But no, I probably couldn't eat more chips. The whole point about it is it's a Shaggy Dog story. You actually give the information right at the start, but and somewhere at the start of that, I said Bill's driving the train south. He's doing 150 miles. He's doing 100 miles. You start putting lots of numbers in, distances and towns and things, and people start focusing on, because they think you're going to start talking about times or something to do with time or speed, completely missing the name, and then you just change the thing completely and say, well, so what was the driver called? And you've already told them, and they just don't. Yeah, maybe you'll have to watch the replay then. I probably couldn't say it again because I literally made it up as I was saying it. The point is just to make it long and put lots of numbers in. Yeah. It's like how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And if you really want to get some very not nice jokes, it's things like, why'd you get three-legged sheep? Do you want to eat all sheep at once? You see, told you they're not very nice. There's some funnier ones around that, but yeah. Can I remember? It's how do you get 6 people? Well, these days, how do you get 6 people in a Mini? Now, Minis used to be a lot smaller than they are these days. And of course, I'll save you the trouble, because the answer is you open the doors and climb in. But at that point, you then say, well, how do you get an elephant in a Mini? And of course, I'll tell you the answer is you get the 6 people out of it first. You can actually easily get 6 people in a Mini, even the older ones eat more chips. For some reason, well, probably because it was a small car back then. It's a lot bigger these days, but I think the record is something like about 20 or more. There's something really ridiculous, and that's actually inside with the doors closed and the windows closed. There is actually a world record, I think, off the top of my head for a number of people in a Mini. There used to be one of the fun facts about Minis and Rolls Royces. Then we used to call the bumper bar on both of them was exactly the same height. Not always on every car these days, but back then they were both exactly the same height. Fill the 4th seat with another one. Trouble is, it's a waste of a Land Rover. Can you put them in something else? Yeah, no, okay. Yeah, yeah. Well, I sort of was there with it. I was sort of there with it. They're great, but they're cold. The original Land Rovers had no heating, flop down windows, and in winter were absolutely freezing. But of course, they did what they were meant to do, which is basically go anywhere that you wanted. That line bothers me. So that line is going away. Range Rovers, not Land Rovers. Range Rovers. Yeah. Urban tractors. The really funny thing about that is, of course, things like Range Rovers have quite a high centre of gravity. They're more likely to tip over than smaller cars. So much for the extra safety of them. They're so high at the back that you can reverse without seeing children behind them. So, you know, these people, these mums that want to, keep their own children safe, but don't care about anybody else's. And whilst I'm not joking, it's kind of, I'm just having a dig, but there was an interesting experiment with done where they did ask a lot of the people that were seen sort of picking up children from schools in things like Range Rovers, the big high up vehicles like that, as to why they did it, and the thing about it was safer. It was safer. I'm not, great big vehicle. Nobody's going to sort of, and then they did the things like showed how easy it was to tip over something like that as opposed to something with a lower centre of gravity. And then they sort of got them and put them in the car, the test car, and whilst they kind of weren't looking, they actually took a mannequin. Child-sized mannequin, put it behind the vehicle, and then asked them to reverse. And they didn't frighten the drivers when they heard the crunch because they couldn't see it. Went out round the back, showed them what was there, and it was amazing the reaction that they got. By a Fiesta, yeah. But yeah, you're right about the specker mode. You get things like four-wheel. Well, I'm going to say which I've got a four-wheel drive car, and mine will never go off road. But mine is four-wheel drive because it's got a bit more power, and I was driving a lot in winter on motorways and things. So I wanted potentially a bit of better grip, but otherwise 4-wheel drive wasn't the point. But yeah, never see a specker mod. You're right. Mind you, there again, I'm not altogether sure some of those big cars these days, if they did go off road, would actually manage it all that well. Yeah, no, it's all right. I know what you meant, Claire. Quite a clever way of manipulating things there. Eat more chips. I can see the answer to that one. You know what? I'm going to call this finished. Oops. That's my microphone peeking in there. I'm going to call this finished. It looks slightly better in person. Well, it looks a lot better in person than it does on the screen. Yeah, you did. You were very trying. The answer, of course, being 4. And of course, the slightly different variation of that is you have 4 Land Rovers driving down the you're driving them down the road. One of them breaks down. How many Land Rovers have you got left? The answer is still 4. Simple economics, really. You can sell it. Indeed, Claire, thank you very much. But yeah, I have finished. I think, yes, I will call it. I will sign it later, because I do, and it will depend on the person that's commissioned this as to how I sign it. But I will get that straight in the camera. Now the cats have been playing with the camera, that's why it's twisted. I'm going to say I thought it was a bit off. So that's a completed portrait. And the cameras are the camera is playing about with the shading a little bit. It's a bit off. I might just take a scalpel a little bit around this edge later, but essentially that's finished. And the other way would be, I have softened all this edge off, and I did do that side, but I probably could do with a little bit more, and I will leave that a little bit, but essentially this is finished. It's a completed portrait. So that's end to end. I don't know how long it's taking. One of these, I might have to have a look at the videos, but there again, when I'm doing things like this where I stop doing anything and talk for ages, it's not a true reflection of how long something takes. Thank you, Claire, for that. I'm going to say thank you to anybody that's watching. I am going to point out the shops, or the shop there is zaragonart.etsy.com, where the jewellery that you've been seeing there appears, and I will do something with Zaragon Art and put some more in the shop that's there as well, so you can look at it there. I get to do more with my own shop than I do Etsy, but take a look at Facebook if you're interested. I try and keep it up to date, and the YouTube. Unfortunately, YouTube you have to do a search for. They won't give me a URL just yet. I need more followers. Always the followers. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to know when I go live again, then I would recommend that you follow me on Twitch and get the notification when I go live. You can also follow me on Twitter for the same at Zaragonart, and on Twitter, of course. At least you occasionally will get to you will occasionally get to know, and I'll put those teeth back in that we were talking about earlier. If I don't go live, because I will often tweet, why not? Talking of not going live, I probably will not be on again until the weekend. As I've mentioned a few times on the stream, need to get a new job, so I'm going to do some training offline, which should help in getting a new job. But that I'll have to do in my own time, which will be after work, so that probably will preclude me from streaming for the rest of this week or during the week, at least until I get a new job. So may only see me again at the weekends, I'm afraid, but we'll see. If I get bored or just need to give my head a rest, I might just come and do some streaming. Carving, I did promise, will be next, so we will try and do that. I've got some lovely pictures somewhere of an eagle owl, so maybe we'll carve. I'll do the carving, you can watch an eagle owl. In the meantime, again, thank you all. Hope to see you again in the future. When I do stream, it'll be from about 8 PM UK time, 2000 hours UTC GMT. But I'm not sure when. So the weekend is the most likely. Keep an eye out on Twitter and Twitch. Thanks for joining. Hope to see you again in the future, and bye for now.